Who are you when everything that defined you is gone? When the job disappears, when your body changes, when the version of life you once knew no longer exists. You look in the mirror and it's still you, but not quite. That's where the journey begins, in the space between who you were and who you're becoming. Because rebuilding identity isn't about going back. It's about finding truth in what remains. Welcome to InspireAbility, where we explore what it really means to live fully, thrive with support, and grow through change. I'm Ruby, and if you've ever found yourself asking, who am I now? After a major shift, you're not alone. When I became disabled after my accident, my old identity, the strong professional, the carer, the multitasker, started to crumble. I didn't know where I fit anymore. The mirror reflected a version of me I didn't yet recognize, but slowly I realized identity isn't something we lose, it's something we evolve into, and that evolution can be beautiful, even if it begins in pain. Today, we're going deep into this journey. We're going to talk about letting go of the past you, embracing the pressure to bounce back, and the beautiful, quiet work of relearning who you are. We'll explore how to reclaim your story by naming yourself, and finally, how to live an authentic, integrated life after everything has changed. So get comfortable, and let's start this conversation together. Identity loss often starts with the loss of roles. Before my accident, I was Ruby the professional, Ruby the carer, Ruby the friend everyone leaned on. My calendar was full, my days were productive, and my purpose felt clear. But when those roles were stripped away, I was left with silence, and that silence is incredibly uncomfortable. In that quiet, all the questions you've been avoiding suddenly get very loud. There were so many moments where I'd scroll through old photos and not recognize the woman smiling back at me. It felt like looking at a stranger. Moments where I'd find myself comparing my current abilities to my before self, and just feeling this wave of grief. That is what no one really tells you. Loss doesn't only come with grief for people or places. It also comes with grief for yourself. You have to grieve the person you were, the life you had, the future you imagined. I had to sit with the version of me that couldn't do everything anymore, the one who needed help, who moved slower, who had to say no a lot more often. And for a long time, the dominant question in my mind was, how do I get her back? I was obsessed with returning to that old version of me. But true healing didn't start until I changed the question. Instead of asking, how do I get her back? I began asking, who is she now? That shift in perspective from restoration to discovery was the first real step toward finding peace. It was permission to meet myself where I was, not where I thought I should be. After a major life change, whether it's an illness, a job loss, or a shift in your family, people often say things like, you'll be back to your old self. Soon, they mean, well, they truly do. It's meant to be a message of hope, but if you're the one going through it, it can hurt. Because deep down, you know that old self doesn't exist anymore. The person who went through that fire is not the same person who entered it. Society celebrates recovery stories that look like return stories. We love the narrative of someone getting knocked down and then getting right back up, exactly as they were before, maybe even better. But sometimes the bravest thing you can do is to not go back, to accept that who you were before might not be who you're meant to be after. Resisting that pressure to bounce back is an act of profound self-compassion. It's about understanding that you are not broken. You are evolving. What is being built in you is not a weaker version of your former self. It's a wiser, more grounded, more empathetic one. You've gained a depth that you couldn't have accessed otherwise. So when you hear that pressure to return to your old self, gently remind yourself that your journey is forward, not backward. You are building something new, and that new creation is worthy of respect and patience. After my disability journey began, I had to start from scratch in so many ways. The old roadmap was gone. So I started noticing the small things, what activities brought me a sense of peace, even for a moment. What conversations or environments completely drained me. What new, quiet things sparked a little bit of joy in ways I hadn't expected. I realized that rebuilding your identity is a lot like meeting yourself for the first time, slowly, curiously, and without judgment. It's like being a detective of your own soul. You start to rediscover your core. You ask yourself, what values still stand firm, no matter what has changed in my life? What dreams are still alive, even if they look different now? What new passions are starting to whisper quietly in the background, waiting for you to notice them? Maybe you used to love big, loud crowds, and now you find your peace in solitude and nature. Maybe your purpose used to feel tied to your performance and achievements, but now you're finding it in simple presence, in just being with the people you love. The truth is, every version of you deserves love and acceptance, especially the one who is still learning who they are. This process isn't about finding a finished product. It's about falling in love with the journey of becoming. There comes a point in this journey when you have to stop waiting for the world to define you, and you begin to reclaim your own story. For so long, I let my limitations or my past roles define me. When people asked what I did, I would stumble, but then I started introducing myself differently, not just by what I do or what happened to me, but by who I am. Instead of being Ruby, the former professional who is now disabled, I started saying, I'm Ruby, I'm a storyteller, an advocate, and a woman who is learning to live fully. Can you feel the shift in power there? That's where empowerment begins, when you name yourself based on your inner truth, not your external circumstances or limitations. You take the pen back and write your own definition. So I want to ask you this, if no one was watching and you didn't have to explain yourself to anyone, who would you be? What would you choose to do, to be, to create, if it wasn't about proving your worth, but about protecting your peace? Your identity is not a title the world gives you. It's a declaration you make for yourself. You get to decide what words describe the core of you, and speaking those words out loud, first to yourself and then to others, is one of the most powerful steps in rebuilding. Living authentically after loss or a major change isn't about pretending it didn't happen. It's not about putting on a brave face and ignoring the pain. It's about integrating it. It's about letting it shape you, but refusing to let it be the only thing that defines you. Your story might now include chapters on pain, illness, or disappointment, but it also includes new chapters on resilience, creativity, grace, and wisdom. You can be disabled and ambitious. You can be grieving and joyful. You can be healing and powerful. You can be evolving and still be completely whole and enough right now. These things are not mutually exclusive. They are the beautiful, complex reality of a life fully lived. Every version of you, past and present, is part of your becoming. And when you finally embrace that, when you stop chasing the ghost of your past and start honoring the truth of your present, that is when a deep, unshakable peace begins to return. It's not the peace of an easy life, but the peace of an authentic one. You are living in alignment with who you are now, and that is the ultimate freedom. So here is your reflection for today. If you could meet the future version of yourself 5 years from now, a version that is happy, at peace, and thriving, what would you want them to thank you for starting today? What small step could you take to honor the person you are becoming? Change may take things away from us, but it never ever leaves us empty. It makes room. It carves out space for clarity, for a renewed sense of purpose, and for a deeper, truer version of you that was waiting to emerge all along. Remember the anchor quote for today. You are not who you were before everything changed. You are who survived. And who you are now is more than enough. No matter the challenge you are facing, remember this: you can live fully, you can thrive with support, and you can always keep moving forward with hope. This is InspireAbility. Let's rise together, uniquely us. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this message resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more conversations like this. We'll see you next time.